I'm just kind of curious from the student side. What did you guys think? I know you guys are a different level of student, right? Because you're entrepreneurs at heart, you're hustlers, you want to shake and bake and make things happen. You see the world differently, you function differently. So what did you guys think about taking the Bitcoin for Everybody class? So
my name is Hayden Riley. Was I the first one to pass the test?
Yeah.
Yes,
you were. Woo.
I'm a private pilot. I got that last year. So I've been working on that, working up and up. But my thoughts on Bitcoin and this unit, I thought that the content really did help me learn about it. I knew I had a little bit of background with cryptocurrency investing just on my own, just researching by myself. But Saylor turned out to have a lot of information that was not available anywhere else. And I thought that a lot of the articles did have a lot of good content in them.
My name is Cadence. I'm a senior. So I noticed when I'm taking an economics course through a college right now for like CCP credit. And in the textbook, in one of the videos that I had to create, actually through Flipgrid for economics, was describe the attributes of money. And that was like one of the major things that we talked about at the beginning of the Bitcoin course. So I thought it was cool that we like got to see that kind of stuff too, that like incorporated into other classes. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And anytime you can make that cross connection with other classes, that's what the learning's all about, right? It's not just in that one class, you make these cross connections. So that's pretty cool. Awesome.
When I describe Bitcoin to like one of my older relatives, I'll just use like the simpler key details like blockchains and nodes and how those correlate. Roughly in a short paragraph would be like Bitcoin is made up of multiple blockchains, which are supervised transactions. And in turn, people use like nodes to make sure they keep track of how much Bitcoin and if the blockchains are legitimate. Just simple terms on how they correlate. Mostly just explaining what cryptocurrency is at heart in the first place, though.
The way I would explain Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general, as that's pretty much the whole thing, I would compare it to the way our current monetary system works, which is fiat cash. But because they might understand that better than they're going to understand computers or Bitcoin or technology. I would say that the way Bitcoin works, it's essentially that the people are able to mint Bitcoin on their own. They use computers that run code to make the Bitcoin. And then the Bitcoin's authenticated by the same computers that are creating them and other computers, and they're called nodes kind of thing. So it's all computers. So you can think of it as how the US government is able to mint the money and then the banks authenticate the transactions. It's the same thing, just without the government or banks. It's just based off computers alone. That's kind of how I would explain it.
Where does this group see the future of money? What's that going to look like in the next 5, 10, 15 years when people are purchasing items or buying a house, a car? Or how do you see the future of money working out?
But I think in the next 10, 15 years, we're going to see more digital, and pretty much digital only. And we've started to see that already. Cash, like physical cash use, has gone significantly down recent years. And I can see that. I'm a cashier at Walmart. That's my current job. And I see tenfold more card transactions or gift card, digital money than cash most days.
Garrett, if he sheds a tear, I have to tell you why. Garrett likes to collect coins. So when he answers this question, there might be a tear.
Yeah, I see like physical money will be like still used in the future, but like definitely not as much as like the digital money will be. So I think like it's gonna eventually phase itself out with the physical cash, like maybe 10, 15 years in the future, but yeah.
Do you think personal finance course is important?
I do think that they are important because like honestly doing this Bitcoin stuff, I feel like I learned a lot more about like gaining cryptocurrencies and like just in general the origins of money. I feel like I learned a lot from that, and it kind of like opened my eyes in a lot of ways is the best way that I could explain it. But I feel like definitely, especially at like a high school level, that most students need that kind of education, like before they go out and they grow up and like go into the real world, and that's what they're gonna have to deal with. I feel like it's definitely something that should be like necessary.
In my case, we learned about taxes after I'd already filed mine. So it was kind of, I had no use for that. And a lot of like writing checks and the knowledge of checking accounts, savings accounts, I already know. And so I think it should be based on if you've already learned about that. I think it should be a course more pushed on the like freshman or middle school level. Because a lot of high schoolers have already gone through it and have already learned a lot of the stuff that is in a personal finance course.
See, that's what I love is students advocating for getting this education even earlier.
One of the things that people often say is, oh, I can't see Bitcoin. It's not tangible. It's not in my pocket. I can't put it in my wallet. Like I can't see it. So it can't be real, right?
It's your head.
So how do you explain to them, how do you help people understand since something's not in their pocket?
I got you. So I would ask them, how much money's in your wallet right now? How much of your money do you physically have on you right now? And they might have, let's say $50. Well, your bank account says you have $20,000, right? Where's that $20,000 at? Not in your hand. Good point. You can't see it. You can go withdraw it, but you could also take that money, put it into Bitcoin, and you could sell it and get that money right back from Bitcoin. It's the same idea. You could also look at it as an investment. Anything you invest in, like let's say you invest in Apple. You put $100 in Apple, it grew 1%. I don't know. And you get that extra 1% back. It's an investment, and that's the way you should look at it. To convince somebody to put money into Bitcoin, if they don't trust it, I'd say throw $100 at it. Put $100 into Bitcoin from, Coinbase or Venmo or whatever app. It's just like an investment. There's risk there, but the chances are it's probably going to go up, especially if you buy in a dip, and it's probably going to go up, and you might see a good return on that. And so that might influence them to put more into Bitcoin and trust it more. I wouldn't say put your whole life savings into it, as with all investments. That's just a terrible idea in general. But I'd say, just start small, see what you think. If you don't like it, you're out $100. It's not a big deal then. So that's how I would do it.
What would your message be for other girls who don't know much about personal finance and Bitcoin and investment? What would be your pitch to them so that they can understand what this course was that you just took? Because we want to get more girls involved. Obviously, I think it's only healthy to get a good balance.
And I have to put a plea out to you guys when you answer this. No, like if you look at my rosters for any of my business classes, there'll be 20 guys in there and one girl, 24 girls or 25 guys, one girl. So how would you convince anybody that's a female to sign up for business classes?
I don't know.
I feel like I gained, especially from entrepreneurship, I gained like a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
And there was like a lot of opportunities that I got, like having a mentor,
Yes.
like through college. That was a huge experience.
Mhm.
And I didn't really think I would want to go into business at first. It was like one of the only classes that was left open. But like I fell in love with the idea of like pursuing something within business and doing that once I go into college. And I feel like I could definitely kind of pitch something out like that like you might not think you like it, but like you can just give it a shot.
Yeah. I was the same way. My mom encouraged me to take a business class, and I was like super opposed to it, but I had room in my schedule, so I was like, I might as well. And Mrs. Geiger hasn't like made me want to go into business, so that's what my plans are after high school. So, and yeah, there are so many opportunities. I've learned so much. Yeah, there's just so much with business. It's not just like one thing. There's so much.
What would you tell your friends if they ask, like, hey, Landon, man, I heard something about that Bitcoin thing. Not quite sure what that is. And I think I should sign up for it. Why do you think I should sign up for it?
Like there's a lot of people like right now, like you don't see a lot of kids like nowadays, like a lot of people are getting into the workforce, whether it's just like getting a job, a smaller job somewhere. You don't like, they're starting to get credit cards, debit cards, like they're starting to pay more with that type of method. And if they're like, Bitcoin is also like, it's another like form of digital payment, which whether like
like I just said, a lot of people are more like using a debit card or a credit card. It could get you a lot more experience, like more knowledge into that type of like thing. So you're more careful and like manage your money a lot better.
What's your take on the current monetary influence of digital money and fiat cash?
I think that digital money has a pretty big influence on like I guess everything, as it kind of our system right now has a pretty big influence, but I think that Bitcoin will have a bigger one. And how digital money, as Hayden was saying, with like as he's a cash register, cashier, he sees that people use card and more than cash and like gift cards, so online money. And so I can see it having like a pretty big influence, but like less of one over
I
time.
have to tell you, as these kids have started passing their certification test, we've been announcing it here, and I've had so many students come up say, what class is studying Bitcoin? What is it? And I'm like, it's entrepreneurship. And they're like, are you going to be doing it again next year? And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I think it's interesting that they're seeing these kids be that, that they're raising the bar, going, this is something that I want to do. And they asked, is it through, our local universities? That was their next question. And I'm like, no, it's not. So I think that needs to be part of, I don't know, I have to consider it and maybe throw it out as an option again for next year, but let them know that, like you said, there's other places to gain an education than, just physical locations here. So
Yeah.
I just think it's exciting that I have students coming up and starting a conversation with me about Bitcoin. So.
Oh, isn't that amazing? And the kids, I think they're living it and experiencing it, but those are things that usually happen outside of school. And now all of a sudden it's happening inside of school, and they're like, whoa, wait a minute. That's happening here at Tiffin Columbian High School? Oh my goodness.
And for me, it's exciting because, it's like when I teach the finance class, yes, we still do the checks, although I do think there is still a purpose for teaching them. However, I can continue that conversation and say, okay, here's the history. We start with the check and you have to understand the foundation, but we look at things that are more durable than, writing a check. And then I'm incorporating Bitcoin into my other classes as well. Not the full units, but some of the knowledge that I've gained, I'm going to continue to pass it on to other classes as well.